Good evening. The September 9th, 2022 special meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. We are the Marion County School District Leadership Team. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We'll always put students first. We will leave a legacy of success. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I'm requesting everyone in the audience to please remove your hats and turn off your electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mr. Don Browning, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3.
Here.
Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly King, District 5. Dr. Diane Gullett, Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The purpose of the meeting is to hold a public hearing on the final millages and budget for the 2022-2023 fiscal year. The budget process involves public hearings to be held in the following order. A, rolled back rate computation and tentative budget amended to conform to final budget. B, resolution determining revenues and millages levied, which was resolution number 22-06. C, final budget, which is resolution number 22-07. If you wish to address the board regarding one of the public hearings, there is a special form to be completed on which you will need to select the appropriate areas of concern. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Cummings, members of the board. I recommend approval of the agenda for the September 9th, 2022 special school board meeting with the materials in the board packet. Those materials distributed to board members at the meeting and their audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting.
May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Vice Chair Campbell.
Second.
Seconded by Board Member King. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same sign. Passed unanimously. Before proceeding with this fiscal year 2022-2023 budget hearing, we need to finalize the fiscal year 2021-2022. May I have a motion to approve the final budget resolution number 10 for the fiscal year of 2021-2022?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Thrower.
Second.
Seconded by Board Member King. Ready for question? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same sign. Passed unanimously. May I have a motion to approve the monthly financial report for the year ending June 2022?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member King.
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Campbell. Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. The chair recognizes Superintendent Gullett to begin the budget public hearing processes.
Thank you. The total millage to be levied is greater than the rolled back rate by 9.94%. The required local effort millage rate is greater than the rolled back rate by 3.97%. Each school board participating in the state allocation of funds for the current operation of schools must levy the millage set for its required local effort from property taxes. As a result of work sessions held by the board since the adoption of the tentative budget of $905,020,373 on August 2nd, 2022, the following changes have been made and have been incorporated into the proposed final budget. The major changes are as follows. A net increase in revenue due to the following. An increase in transfer from capital projects fund to the general fund for property insurance, and increase in district school tax revenue for prior period funding adjustment. Net decreases in expenditures due to the following. Reduction in projects and capital fund to offset reduction in revenue. A reduction in grants expenditures to offset estimated carryover reduction, and reduction in self-insurance fund to reflect actuary report analysis for claims liability. Changes in fund balance are also due to actual revenue and expenditures recorded in July for the prior fiscal year. The following attachments have been added to the rolled back computation. A memo changes from tentative to final budget, certification and compliance, public hearing certification, and fiscal year 2022-2023 final budget publication to be published on Marion County Public Schools website on September 12th, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation that the board amend the adopted tentative budget to conform to the proposed final budget for fiscal year 2022-2023? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member King,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Throer. This is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to address the board concerning the rollback rate and/or amended tentative budget? Are there any ones that want to make a discussion to discuss this? Okay. Ready to vote? All in favor signify. This is for the public. We got discussion. Hold on, let me. Okay. Are we ready to vote?
Is there no discussion?
Now, mind you, this is a public hearing now, Mr. Browning.
Right.
Okay. This is a public hearing. We've already did the work sessions on this part, so this should be just approving what we've already talked about.
Yeah, I just would like to
Okay.
start a moment.
Go ahead.
Prior to the vote.
Go ahead, sir.
And it's a level of understanding of these rollbacks, and it's good for people, I think, to understand it and to sort of have a grasp. We're in a growing county, a growing part of the state, and this rollback is when ad valorem goes up, you have to roll back to a point of equal to the prior year. It's a little bit of an oddity just in terms of understanding. But you have to roll back to that point of starting, then moving ahead for the next step. So it's some people, I get calls, and people don't exactly understand the rollback idea of exactly how that works. So this is that we almost go back to square one, and we get a point of starting, and we move forward. There's a more sophisticated explanation of it, and anybody can get that from the tax collector or the assessor for real experts on it. But that's the essence of it. I just wanted to bring that forward because I get the questions on it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are we ready to vote? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Superintendent?
Thank you. The School Board of Marion County, Florida proposes a total millage rate of 6.5050, which is greater than the rolled back rate of 5.9165 mils by 9.94%. I recommend the board adopt Resolution 22-06, determining revenue and millages to be levied for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Thank you, Superintendent. May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation that the board adopt Resolution 22-06, determining revenues and millages levied for fiscal year 2022-2023?
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Moved by Board Member Throer,
Second.
seconded by Vice Chair Campbell. This is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to address the board concerning the millages? Ms. Martinez-Lopez, did anyone sign?
No, sir, we have no speakers.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. And that addresses that issue. If anybody needs any further explanation, we've got experts here on it, exactly the reason for that need to do the rollback. Thank you, Chair.
Ready to vote? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pass unanimously. Superintendent?
Thank you. I recommend the board adopt Resolution 22-07, affirming the final budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 in the amount of $899,707,806.
May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation that the board adopt Resolution 22-07, affirming the final budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 in the amount of $899,707,806. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Motion by Vice Chair Campbell,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Throer. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board concerning the final budget? Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? We're ready for discussion? Ready to vote?
Discussion, please.
Mr. Browning.
Thank you. Okay, yes. Now, gets right to the crux of the budget. I am a very conservative member of the population with a business background. I'm troubled by the increases and the level of increases and the trend toward increases significantly above CPI, for example. The school boards across the state of Florida are getting a lot of scrutiny, and the key is management. This isn't criticism, it's more one of avoiding the possibility, the appearance of mismanagement, like increasing above CPI. If we look back, and I had passed this out during some of the work sessions, if we look back to, say, 2012, 13, 14, we had some beautiful numbers. Actually, we reduced it sometimes. We would get to a 4% increase, maybe a 5% increase, maybe a 4.8, like that, even down to a 3.1, which fell in line with CPI, national. Sometimes it was double the CPI because we had some low ones along in there. But about 3 years ago, we started into a trend. And that trend it's incredibly, I just call it fiscally obese. It's just trending up at a rate that is very, very hard to justify if you were in any kind of a company to raise prices. It would be it would be poor judgment for the life, the continuing vitality of the organization. And we're an organization, and we're going to be looked at very closely, in my opinion, probably this year, if the trend continues with the legislatures freeing up choice in schools. We must be competitive. If we're going to continue, if we're going to be viable, if we're going to manage, not mismanage, we must lower these numbers. 3 years ago, we're up 10%. I'm rounding in numbers off. A year ago, 2 years ago, make it a twice back, a couple of years, 2020, 21, and now we're in 22. What I had handed out to the board, we went from a 10% increase with the CPI rather low, under 2. We went up pretty dramatically. It was before most of the administration, most of the board members here, but it started this really horrendous increase. And I say this in all genuineness that we must, if we're going to continue. I love public education, free public education, the way we've had it in America for a long time. And if we're going to continue that and not lose it to a competitive force, that will, once people have a choice, we've got to be their best choice. We've got to be their best, the best selection. So when we go up 10%, then we go up 15%. Now we go up 20%. Now, those are round numbers, but the CPI is under 2, under 8, like half. We're at 8% this year, and I see, nobody can predict the future, but I see a real reduction going forward because commodities and all of the base fundamentals have started down pretty dramatically, including fuel. And one of my biggest issues is that the people out there that are funding this, when they look at it, they think, oh my gosh, I'm barely making rents. I'm barely making my fuel. I'm barely making my groceries. I'm barely making these things. And look at the size of these increases. So it's troubling. I would like to see the board consider, at this point, it's a public hearing. It's Friday night, so there's nobody here to talk about it, but I know there's a lot of concern out there. You all have gotten the calls too. I think it would be prudent to consider reducing, and I was so encouraged to see this reductions that the superintendent just brought forward. That was from about 105. It was significant. We're down just under, like 99, like a retail price that $9.95, $99, where it just gets under the number. So what I'm saying is I think we need to manage. We just had a severe look at management and mismanagement in the state of Florida. And we're going to be doing all counties, all school boards in Florida for sure, and really across the nation are being looked at. And we've got challenges out ahead. We want to do better with the education. That's our core issue. One of the things that I think we can do, if the board would consider this, is every single board meeting for the last year, there's been so many things that had been taken off the agenda and put in a consensus agenda for no discussion. I would like to see that. I won't be on the board next year, but I would like to see that as a huge source of revenue. Rather than going out and asking for more, you reduce costs. And you do that, I guarantee you do it in any business. So I would like to see a better use of buildings like this one. This goes way before this board, but many of these buildings and these campuses that they're abandoned, they really don't get used up to speed. Our student population has laid within, say, 3,000 or 4,000 students for 10 years. It's just going along flat. But yet our numbers are going up like that, our costs. And a lot of it is inflation. But we're like double inflation. So we're the biggest employer. We've got to get better at what we're doing. Even though we're government, we've got to get better at what we're doing. And we've got to direct the funds, in my opinion, to teachers, classrooms, reduce the regulation, the cost of doing business, the cumbersome, the difficulty of doing business if we're going to become competitive. So I'm very troubled with this. I'm not in favor of I need to say it stronger. It's not that I'm not in favor of this escalating curve, exponential curve. It's that I am dead against it. I want to see this board and future boards actualize, really do a knockout job. Go to number one in the state. Actually nail it. Not struggle along and just increase revenues to cover costs, increase revenues. Because we've got some big things out ahead of us, and if we don't get really good with our stewardship, we're not going to be able to build buildings. There was a beautiful cleanup this year on a $42 million thing that I don't think we needed. And the board finally decided, apparently, I don't think we didn't vote on it, but we decided, forget it. That was $42 million. That's huge, enormous, prudent decision. And also the way the money was going to be secured on what they called creative shifting of funds. So it's my plea to this board that we become better stewards, that we lower this budget, that we take time to bust it back to 10% above last year. If we can do that, that's about half of the increase. If we can do that, we will set a message out across the state of Florida that will be, it will help school boards be more prudent and to manage rather than mismanage. If we can do that, I think we'd be champions. We would meet our oath of office to manage and be as correct and the best possible stewards we can be. I'm open for discussion. I'm open for any kind of comments. And again, this is not criticism of anyone. This is criticism of a curve that in any business, customers that look at it say, I'm going to the competition. Thank you, Chair.
Are we ready to vote? Board members?
I'm trying to decide which point I disagree with most, and since I disagree with all of them, I'm ready to vote.
All in favor of this motion signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same sign.
No.
Passes 4-1. May I have a motion to acknowledge receipt and approve the annual financial report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Moved by Board Member King,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Thorough. This is a public hearing. Any discussion? Anybody from the audience? Elena? Ms. Martinez Lopez? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed have the same sign. Passes unanimously. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Board Member King.
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Campbell. Meeting is adjourned at 5:38 p.m.